Hey guys, MaterGuy78 here. In this episode of How to Do Damage, we're going to be covering Moze with guns. Disclaimer for this video, there will not be much in-game testing or in-game footage. It's just too much to keep track of. To introduce us, for Moze science, the theory behind Moze can be fairly complicated in how her skills all intertwine and interact with each other, and what you're actually trying to make the number go up the most of. And I just want to rant. Moze has this reputation of, oh, Moze OP, she does everything, oh, blah blah blah. But it's not really true. You just hear Moze OP being thrown around when she's just as complicated and actually slower than everyone else. She does do the most damage in the game, but that's because there's a lot of theory going behind Moze. Her gameplay boils down to shoot gun or throw a grenade, but there's a lot of things that you want to know about when you build for this character. Two reasons are she has some insane double dips and an abundance of class mods that give way more than they say they do. Her gameplay revolves pretty much entirely around shoving as much bullshit formula into these things to just crank out really high numbers. But it doesn't really take much skill or thought to actually pull it off. You kind of just shoot. But it's infinitely more effort and thought than all those people who shout Moze OP and still take a few minutes to kill a true trial. First and foremost, Moze is really picky when it comes to what guns you can use effectively. You pretty much always want to use things that are splash. If you're not using splash, you're losing a lot of your damage. And a big reason for this is Skagden, but it's not just that. Under the circumstance that you're using a splash gun pretty much, yeah, you're golden. And now let's get to some actual formula. So for gun damage, she has quite a bit. If you look at all these things, they're just in your skill tree alone. And Cub 150, the Anoint, basically doesn't work. If you swap away, you don't get the Anoint when you swap back to that gun. For Splash, she only has one Splash boost in her skill tree, and then she gets called the Splash character anyway, when Amara has more. But she does also have the Blastmaster and Green Monster. The Green Monster will come back later because it's not really used for gun builds. And also, she has her own ASC Splash Anoint, so that's pretty neat. For V1, got the Flare, pretty big. For Elemental, Stoke the Embers is fire only, superior firepower is cryo only. So cryo is a very good elemental Moze. For crit, Scorching RPMs. For skill damage, and I'm bringing this up because if you see down there, Skag Surplus are skill damage bonus elements. So you get Stainless Steel Bear and Scorching RPMs. And for skill debuff, you get target softening. Fairly varied formula. Throw on a Piss for gear debuff, and you're golden. So due to the existence of Skagden and Short Fuse and some other skills, Moze is heavily inclined to use guns that are splash. All the time. There is no splash build. Stop saying splash build. That doesn't narrow anything down. It doesn't narrow down what guns you're using and how they synergize with Moze. You always want to be using splash. Just all the time. Please. So you want to make what you're about to see happen. So here I just have some guns with various anoints supporting gear that gets double dipped, and well, I'm expecting the Short Fuse, and you want to learn how to make this happen. It's 10 billion health, I think, just gone. So it all comes down to Short Fuse. This is the big one. Fucking Short Fuse. I'll cover some more specific mechanics about this skill in a later video. All you gotta know is that this skill is stupid. It can only proc once per shot, so keep that in mind for shotguns. It's based on damage dealt, and it's splash. And it does get on Grenade Throw V2. So your job as Moze is to just shove as much bullshit into your gun that also boosts Short Fuse usually splash damage is enough, so that you can just get this thing to crank out as much damage as you can get it to. It has the passive skill damage source, so it gets 5.5 times Mayhem Scaling. And here's our formula. So the base damage of Short Fuse that all bonus elements work off of is 50% of the damage dealt. Then the actual Short Fuse gets 5.5 times Mayhem Scaling, Splash, blah, blah, blah. And this is the single strongest skill in Borderlands history that doesn't rely on RNG, an ad, any janky hitboxes. And yeah, that's right, you heard me right. No RNG. Short Fuse is not RNG. And if we factor in RNG, Eraser beats it, but Moze has other means to beat that. So, as you can see down there, bonus elements go off the base damage, 50% damage dealt, and then you apply relevant damage source Mayhem Scaling, like Skag Surplus or UAD. Everything is Short Fuse. When you think Moze and you see a gun, think Short Fuse. Everything about Moze is Short Fuse if you're using guns. Or the Hunter Seeker, more on that later. Short Fuse. You should immediately think, how do I get Short Fuse to do more damage?